everybody, welcome to Waiheke Yoga Room. It's so lovely to have you here, even though I can't see you, but it's just great knowing you're out there, so thanks for tuning in. I do have 4 brand new students here who are joining me this morning for the class, so I thought I'd just quickly introduce them to you before we start. Have a look. So here we have, from left to right, Teddy on the left, then there's Moo, then there's Kermit, the frog, and the guy on the end is Sherman. Now none of them have ever done any yoga before, so I am going to try and make everything as clear as possible for them. Hope you enjoy the class, guys. Alright, so to start this morning, I just want to go over the breathing and remind you that every breath is important. Every inhalation is a rising up of energy, and as that energy comes up, you may feel even that you want to grow a little taller. Every exhalation is a yielding down, it's a pouring down of the energy, and the energy goes deep into the earth and then comes from the earth. And when it comes from the earth, it's not just coming up, it's coming up from a little downward push. So you're going to be, as you're commencing the inhalation, not always, but when you feel like it, you push down. So there's this little push down, and that creates this reach upwards. And when you get to the top of the breath and you start to exhale, there's a feeling of yielding down. So you may want to close your eyes just to do a few breaths, sit comfortably. Tune into your breathing and start with a slow exhalation. So when you're ready, just exhaling a little slower than normal. And then at the beginning of the inhalation, a little feeling of downward, a little push. And feel that breath come up the center of the body, all the way up as far as it wants to. It may come up to the heart, it may come up to the head. And as you exhale, start to let go of tension. Start to relax. Let that exhalation pour through you. At the bottom of the exhalation, there may be a moment where nothing's happening, and then we just breathe in. Bring the energy up. And we relax as we exhale. Bottom of the breath. Be still in that space. And when you're ready, breathing in again. Just keep going and gently feeling yourself coming into yourself at the beginning of the session. Coming into your own stillness. Feeling the world around you and it's gradually fading away. And at the end of this exhalation, come back to normal breathing. Allow your eyes to slowly begin to open. When you open your eyes, don't open them too fast. And just allow the world to come back into you. Okay, so we're going to start, as I say, this morning is going to be shoulder work. I'm going to start with some really simple stuff. And I want you to sit really comfortably, so you might need to just stretch out your legs for a moment if you've been sitting with them bent while we did the breathing. And then I'm personally going to sit in Virasana, which is the tops of my feet on the floor. I have a block to sit on and a blanket underneath that block so that the tops of my feet are comfortable. Hope you can see that. What I'd also like you to do is have a blanket, an extra blanket or cushion that you're going to put down a little bit in front of you for later on. and I need you to have a strap or a belt, a long scarf, something like that, so that we can use that to do circles with our shoulders. Okay, so if you haven't got all that stuff, just turn off the video, go and get it, and then tune back in. We're all trying to learn how to do this, okay? We're not going to be fantastic right on the first video. Okay, first things first, sitting comfortably. If you're in Virasana, you don't want to have any pain in your knees or your feet. If you do, just put more height under you. So nice thick books, thick cushions, bolsters, blocks, whatever you've got. If Virasana doesn't work for you, sit cross-legged. You can even sit on a chair. It really doesn't matter how you sit, as long as you're comfortable. We're going to start off by just putting out, now I can't go left and right and be back to front, so I'm going to say right, and to you it's probably going to look like left, I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to breathe in and take our elbow up to the ceiling, and as we breathe out, a nice big circle just coming down. We're going to do 4 times round like this. So breathe in, hand on shoulder, and breathe out. I am holding my tummy in a little bit, keeping it firm through the core, breathing in. You can close your eyes if you want to, I will keep talking. Breathing out, bringing the arm down. And number 4, breathe in, take it up, make a big circle. Back, far and down, as far as it'll go. At the end of that exhalation, next time you breathe in, reverse. So take the arm back and up. Exhale it down. As you're doing that exhale, remember it goes all the way through your body into the earth. The inhale, you may want to push with your feet to bring the breath in. And then yield down as you exhale. That's 2. Inhaling number 3. And exhaling. Last one. Inhale up. Exhale down, and just let your hand drop onto your thigh. Leave both hands on your thighs for a moment and just feel the difference from doing 4 little circles. If your right shoulder feels now a little bit different from your left already, maybe a little lower, maybe a little warmer. Okay, left hand to left shoulder, and inhaling forward and up to begin with. Exhaling back and down, press, push, make it a big circle like you're painting with your elbow. Inhale up. Back and down. Inhale. Notice if this elbow, at least this shoulder, feels any different from the other one. Is the arm coming up as close to your head this time as it did before, or is it further away? At the end of this one, we're going to change direction. So next inhale, you're going backwards. Down, exhale, inhale back and up. Exhale, nice, long, slow, smooth breathing is helping the nervous system to relax. 4th one coming up for me. When you exhale off the 4th one, just again sit a moment with your eyes closed, hands resting on your thighs. Take a nice, slow, smooth breath in and out. Let go of that chattering mind. Let it fade into stillness. We're going to take our strap now. Now if you have an injury, and a lot of us do, rotator cuff injuries and stuff, and as we do big circles we get a real pulling pain. Now it might just be a stretch, which is good, but it might be working actually at that injury area, which is bad. So I have to leave it up to you to decide whether or not you want to do this with a strap, or if you just want to use one arm at a time, this time making it a straight arm rather than a bent one, and I'll tell you when to change arms if you are doing that, a one arm banded. Okay, so I'm have my strap in hand. I'm going to make sure my tummy's in, and on my inhale I'm going to push gently down and raise my arms up. Pulling on my strap, I'm going to keep my tummy in and exhale slowly through that tight spot, trying to keep my arms straight, trying not to bend my elbows. Push down to inhale up and yield to exhale, come down. I want you to do 4. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. So if you've been doing only one arm, change arms for the other 2. Breathe in. You're obviously going faster than we are. Hopefully. Breathing out. Slowly up through that tight spot. All the way up. And down. Last one for me coming up. Inhaling. And I'm exhaling. And I'm inhaling back. And I'm exhaling, coming down. Keep a hold of your strap when you're down. Now those of you who were not using a strap, try this now with a strap if you can. What we're going to do is we're going to inhale up again. And we're just going to exhale towards that tight spot. Now again, as I say, don't work into injury. If you feel the injury, bend your arms, okay? Otherwise, tummy in and hold in that tight spot for a few breaths where you're getting the best stretch. Don't try and breathe too deeply here because your chest muscles are really stretching already. Feel into your shoulder blades, draw them down your back. Keep your tummy in and slowly bring the arms up. Breathe in and exhale. Take them down. I'm going to go a little closer together with my hands. So they're a little bit wider than my own shoulders now. Breathe in, take the arms up. And now as you exhale, bend your elbows. You can look at your hands and see they're more or less above the elbows, that the wrists and elbows more or less like a traffic cop. And then I'm going to press back through my wrists and back through my elbows and pull on my strap. I'm trying to move my wrists and elbows further back. And now you can really connect in with those shoulder blades. And I want you to try and connect in with the base of your shoulder blades. Can you find the bottom of them? Bottom of the shoulder blades, bring them in towards the spine. It's almost as though, you keep doing this, it's almost as though I'm trying to spread here across the tops and bring together, squeeze together at the bottom of my shoulder blades. And then I'm slowly going to take it up. I'm going to keep my tummy in. Make sure your hands aren't too wide apart. You'll be uncomfortable if they are. And as you exhale, just take a little side bend. Just a little sideways bend. Just a little warm-up one. Inhale to the middle. Keep your tummy in. A little warm-up one to the other side. Exhaling. Inhale. And release. Give your shoulders a good roll around. And then take your hands behind you and clasp them or interlink them. Elbows bent and hands resting against the base of your spine, against your sacrum. Now with your elbows bent like this, I want you to really smile with your collarbones. Start to squeeze your elbows in towards each other. Keep the elbows bent and keep the hands resting against the base of the spine. And then if you have the flexibility without causing any pain, slowly start from this point to straighten your arms. Slowly, 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 slowly. Reach back. release. Give them another roll around again. You might just want to put your hands behind the back of your head and just let your head drop down for a moment. Elbows coming in a little bit towards each other, stretching out the back of the neck. Breathe in and breathe out. We might as well do the sides of the neck while we're here. So we're going to slip our right hand onto our right shoulder, slip our left hand over the top of our head to our right ear, just gently bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And this is where I imagine my hands have a piece of rubber band between them, and as I breathe in, the rubber band goes slack, hands come towards each other a little bit, so there's a letting go, and as I breathe out, I pull on that rubber band, so I pull my right shoulder down, and I draw on my skull. Just 2 more breaths here like that. Breathe in, let it relax. Keep tall. Breathe out and stretch. Pull that right shoulder down strongly. Breathe in, relax. And breathe out, pull. You're going to roll your head through the middle. So if you're not sure, have a little peep. I'm just dropping my hands. I'm rolling my head down through the middle to the other side. And putting my left hand on my left shoulder, taking my right hand over my head. 3 breaths here. Breathe in, exhale and pull. Again, notice, is there more sensation on one side of the neck than the other? Keep your chin a little bit tucked, but you can play around with moving where the chin goes to explore the stretch. 3 nice slow exhalations. And when you're done, just drop your hands back on your thighs, roll your head back to the center, let it hang. And then just interlink your hands behind the back of your neck and lift your head slowly up, just to contract the back of the neck a little bit without crunching it up. And release. Good. I'm going to get rid of my belt. I'm going to give my legs a bit of a stretch, especially if you've been sitting in Virasana, you may want to do that. So just come onto your hands and knees, walk your knees back a little bit, walk your hands forward a little bit, tuck your toes under, they probably need a bit of a tuck, and exhale your buttocks back into your puppy pose. Give yourself a nice little stretch in your puppy, reaching back through the back, reaching back through the hips. And then lift up just a little bit, don't come out of it, and engage. Push forward through your hands, back through your toes, and come up into your downward facing dog. I'm on a slippery mat here, so I'm hanging onto the edges of my mat in front. Just come up into your down dog for the simple purpose of stretching out the shoulders. Keep going, stay there. Stretching out the shoulders as well as giving your feet and your knees a nice little respite. Give the backs of your legs a nice stretch. And then slowly bring yourself down to sit again. Okay, we're going to do our little sequence now. I'm going to take myself a bit further back for this so you can see me properly, because this is where I'm going to need my extra little blanket. I'm still sitting on the same thing as I was sitting on before. I'm still sitting on my block with my blanket under my feet. Remember, you can always come up onto your knees like this if your feet and your knees start to get tired from sitting in Virasana. Just come up and kneel. Do most of the work kneeling. That's absolutely fine as well. So this blanket here is going a couple of feet in front of me, because I'm going to be ending up crown of the head on the floor. So just for those of you who have not seen this little sequence before, most of my students know it, but for those of you who haven't seen it before, I'm just going to show you one little bit because you won't be able to look at me while you're doing this bit, so you need to know what it looks like. So partway through the sequence, which does various things with our arms, we take our hands behind our back and we stretch. And then the first thing I say is to breathe in, and as you exhale, you're going to bow. So just watch, don't do anything. I exhale and I bow. And when I bow, I can go just a little way, if that's enough for me. I can go halfway to the floor, if that's enough for me. Or I can go all the way down to rest my forehead on the floor or on the front of my blanket. And you can either stay there, or the next inhalation, you lift your hips and you roll very, very lightly onto the crown of your head. So just don't put a lot of weight there because your neck doesn't like weight on your head, okay? So just a little bit of weight on the head. So I've bowed forward like this, and then as I inhale, I'm going to lift my hips up. This is a rabbit pose. I'm going to reach up with my arms towards the ceiling, and I'm going to draw them down towards the floor behind me. And then when I'm ready, I'll tell you when we'll come back on an inhale to sitting. Okay, so that's the only bit that you won't be able to watch, assuming you do that. Okay, so we're going to start off with our little breathing meditation. Again, my students know this one very, very well. So those of you who are unfamiliar with it, keep your eyes open. Those of you who know it, feel free to close your eyes. I'll be babbling away, so you'll know what to do. Okay, we're starting with our fingers on the floor. Remember that breathing. We begin a breath by pushing down gently into the floor with whatever's touching. Okay, and inhaling, you float your arms shoulder height. So remember, this is a meditation. It works real slow. And as you exhale, slowly bring the hands into the heart. Your next inhale sees the arms going up, and they can come apart as soon as you need them to. You don't have to hold them together too long, because then they open out wider and wider. You get to a point where you feel like you're really embracing the universe. And then they will naturally start to turn down, palms down to the floor, and that whole long movement is an exhalation. Hello, bow. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale gently to the heart. Inhale up. Let them come apart. Open your heart. Turning the palms down. Exhale all the way to the floor. We're going to do two more. Inhale, float up. Feel the stretch now going from your heart through your arms to your fingertips. So make your arms wide, and then exhale. Bring the energy in to the heart. Excuse my dog making these noises. Inhale up. Oh, you can't stay in class if you can make a noise. Open the arms, open the arms. And exhale down. And final one, inhale up. Exhale, palms to the heart, bringing the palms into the heart, coming in, coming in, coming in. Inhale up, all the way. Open the arms. And as you exhale, come deep into stillness, Let your hands rest on your thighs. And just feel your breath coming and going. Like Bo can feel his. I have a slight problem here, which I'll that's pretty much where I wanted to put my head. So might have to put my head on my dog. He's a very noisy breather, you might have noticed. Hey, Bob? Okay, you stay there, and you can stretch with us or not. It's up to you. Okay, so we're going to do this little shoulder sequence now, and we're going to start it by doing the arm movement on the breathing. So take a breath in and out here as you're waiting. And then next inhale, float the arms up. And exhale, gently bring them into your heart. Feel yourself coming into stillness each time you do this. And as you take your hands up this time, interlink your fingers. You can look up if you want to, and turning the palms up to the ceiling, stretch. Now draw your navel back and take your arms a little bit further back behind you if you can. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, keeping that navel back, a little side bend again. Feel yourself supported by your foot and let it push down to bring you up to the center. And exhale again, just small movements. Side movements can be tricky, so don't go too far. And inhale up. As you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows, cup your head. And I call this gazing at the moon. Looking up, opening your chest. Really open the chest. Open the chest. On your next inhale, you're going to float your arms out like a bird. Breathe in. As you breathe out, take your hands behind you and interlink them. Remember, we keep the elbows bent first. We take the collarbones back, elbows together, and then try and straighten the arms. On an out breath, you're going to bow forward. So breathe in. And exhale. If you are bowing, bow forward. Stay there, or on your next inhale, lift your hips. Roll very lightly over the crown of your head. And exhale the arms gently over towards the floor. Just light breathing here for a moment. And then on an inhale, come back to sitting. Slowly, slowly, you're unfurling yourself. Slowly, slowly, exhale on the way up. So you're ready as you inhale to take a traffic cop, stop sign. Stop sign, fill the lungs. And as you exhale, gently bring your left elbow on top of your right. Garudasana, eagle pose. Lift your elbows up, lift your heart up, breathing in. Keep them up, and as you exhale, push your shoulders down. As you breathe in, let your shoulders relax up. As you breathe out, send that breath from the shoulders, pushing down, press the breath all the way through the body into the earth. And then a gentle inhale, let your shoulders relax, you can come up. And exhale, push them down. On our next inhale, we're going to sweep our arms out to the sides and up. Breathe in. All the way up. We're going to go through it again, but interlink with the other baby finger on the outside and stretch. We won't do a side bend this time. Breathe in. Reach up, reach up, reach up. And as you breathe out, bend your elbows, take them back and gaze at the moon. Wide arms like a bird as you breathe in. And sweeping behind you, change the interlink to the non-instinctive. Elbows bent, collarbone smile, elbows in towards each other and then straighten. Take a breath here. And if you're going forward, exhale slowly into your bow. Breathe in here, coming up onto the crown of the head. And just gentle exhale, gentle breathing here for a moment. Trying to lift the arms up to the ceiling. Your next inhale, slowly going back to where you were sitting. Slowly coming up, exhaling along the way. So you're ready for your next inhale, which is your traffic cop. And your exhale takes your right arm on top of your left. Lift the elbows up a little bit. Take a breath. And exhale 3 times, those shoulders down. Strong pressure downwards. So it really pulls from your ears to your shoulders. Breathe in. Feel that pull right across the tops of the shoulders as you exhale, and then try and press your shoulder blades down as well. Go right down into those shoulder blades. And again, breathing in lets everything relax and soften. And exhale, do the work. We're going to go wide arms as we breathe in. Inhale, wide arms like a bird. Exhale, bring your palms to your heart. Stay there, close your eyes, and let your head gently come down for a moment. Feel your heart behind your thumbs. Feel your breath coming and going slowly. And let go of any tension in your shoulders. Onto your hands and knees, and once again up into your down dog to give those knees and those feet a nice little stretch out. Hold your dog and breathe. Hold your dog and feel yourself breathing in and out. You can walk the dog, so one leg at a time. Bending and straightening. Just feel yourself elongating your spine by pulling your hips back. Try to release tension around the neck and shoulders as you work. Don't overdo the shoulders. And when you've had enough, just lower yourself down into your child's pose, resting the arms and the shoulders. So when you come down in child's pose, you can either drape your arms back behind you, hands on the floor beside your feet, or you can fold your arms under your head and rest your forehead on your arms. So if you're still busy, another 2 or 3 breaths, and then please come down and rest in your child pose. Let it go. Okay, so just to finish off our segment on shoulders this morning, I'm going to finish off with a few little stretches. You're welcome to do other stuff afterwards, obviously, but today was the shoulders day. So let me show you very quickly what I'm going to do, because you might not want to keep looking at me while you're trying to do your own stretches. So I've got a blanket under my knees. I'm going to start off with my toes tucked under, my hands just a little bit forward of my shoulders, tummy in, and I'm going to start off in a regular sort of a puppy. From there I'm going to come up into downward facing dog. We'll hold that for a few breaths, we'll come back down, then we'll walk our hands way further forward, put our toenails back down on the floor, and as we exhale this time we're going to keep our hips directly above our knees and stretch down with the arms and the armpits. So I'm really trying to get across this part of my back. Feel my shoulder blades and my armpits moving down as I rest my head on the floor. Now if your head doesn't rest, you can pop a little blanket or something in there. You can have one available. And rest there. And we're going to walk back. Come back to our downward facing dog one more time. So I will talk you through this. Then we're going to come down. We're going to go all the way into child's pose where we're going to interlink our fingers. We're going to do a final little stretch up and over this way as we did earlier on, and rest. And that will be that. Okay, so starting off, hands just a little bit forward of the shoulders. Tuck your toes under, breathe in. As you breathe out, tummy in, and just slowly draw back to your puppy. We're going to breathe in, puppy. So as you breathe in, you may want to lift up a little bit away from the floor, have a little peep if you haven't seen this before. And as you breathe out, press down to the floor. 2 more breaths like that. Slow breath in, lifting up a little. And long, slow, smooth breath out, pressing yourself, pulling the hips back. 1 more breath in, lifting up a little. And exhaling strongly down with the armpits. And your next inhale, lift up a little bit again. And this time engage, push through the hands and feet and slowly lift your knees, coming up into down dog. Keep your tummy drawn in. Let your neck relax. You can move your feet as you want to. And this is a good opportunity again to just give the hamstrings a little bit of stretch, the calf muscles a little bit of stretch. Just gently walking your dog. Just play however you like with your dog. Sorry about my dog and his breathing again. It sounds like somebody's shrieking in the background constantly. He has very long nostrils. Can you not breathe so loudly, please? Just finishing off your down dog. Come down onto your knees. Put your toenails on the floor. Walk your hands 4 or 5 inches further forward. Even 6 maybe. Now it's really important to keep your tummy in. Take a breath, and as you exhale, pull back with the hips as far as you can. Press your chest down to the floor and rest your head. So this is a resting pose. Even though it's quite strong on the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the armpits, even the arms are getting a good stretch. Try and make it as restful as you can. The arms are stretched as far as you can forward so they're straight. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, keep the hands exactly where they are. Don't let them slide, and slowly push your elbows into the floor. Lifting up. Back towards you for your last down dog of the morning. Tummy in as you lift up. Give yourself 4 or 5 nice long, slow, smooth breaths here. At the end of this breath, bending your knees slowly and coming all the way into your resting child. Arms either back beside your feet or crossed under your head. And then finishing off by interlinking or clasping your hands, lifting your hips and rolling very lightly onto the crown of the head, lifting the arms up, trying to straighten them, and reaching for the ceiling with the hands. Come back to your resting child and relax. When you come out of your child, remember you're a plant that unfurls itself from the earth. The last thing that comes up is your head. And you can take your hands behind your back. One last stretch. And there we are, done for the day. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Oh, let's just finish off with bringing the palms together in the prayer position. Close your eyes. Take a nice slow breath in. And as you breathe out, let your head gently come down. Feel yourself breathing in here. Breathing out. One more breath in and out. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me this morning. Namaste.